So this piece of machine, right? This piece of equipment, like we designed or for people who are people who are like probably ramen shops, right, with multiple locations, right? And then but like or like you are just single ramen shop, or like wants to well sell like manufacture and sell your ramen noodles like to your like local customers and like local restaurants and retail stores maybe, right? And or you may want to like start up like noodle factory, a small factory, the concept like we've been talking about, like micro noodle factory, right? And that make a variety of like quality noodles to to be delivered to your local customers. Like you need like anyone who with a passion to make great craft noodles, to be sold in your local markets. So it's like we designed them so that like no, like if you're not like experienced like in this field, or like you don't have any skilled laborers to like operate it, yeah, we designed these piece of equipment so that like anyone can have a chance to like create a noodle factory and start manufacturing a really good high quality noodles like without um, you know skilled labor. So we put three features in this piece of equipment, and so first one is like we minimized like physical hard work, right? So yeah, imagine like it's everyday work, right? So you have to like lift like heavy bags like flowers, right? And then lift them up like you have to do a lot of like heavy lifting like every day, right? When it comes like and it's an everyday thing. And so by the hardware design, like we minimize like this hard labor work, right? And the second one would be like so we yeah designed these hardware so that like anyone like anyone like make like using these machines are like making better noodles like by default, like than any kind of like conventional noodle making machine. um we'll get to that later, but like the third one would be like so we designed these machines so that like we designed them for show, like we to show to your customers so that like well, yeah, like you probably like showcase them like in your well, if you have ramen shop like in your inside restaurant, and then you can like well, your customer will be like psyched to watch how you make noodles on these machines. So yeah, so these three features, that we'll try to minimize like physical labor, hard labor work, and yeah, and then the quality of the noodles that you can make on these machines, and the like in that like we call like probably like entertainment factor, like entertainment element, so that like you kind of like well put the machines to like in in your business like where your customers can watch how you make noodles. So yeah, so that's the sort of like three features like we put in these machines. So let's start with this silky mixer. Like it's 25 kilogram mixer, and like you can that means like you can make up to like do the 25 kilo solid ingredients, and top of it like you're adding liquid, right? And so like you are getting probably 33 kilo of dough at a time, a maximum. And so it's very low, right? The entry point of the ingredients like is very low. Like it's just only like 86.6 centimeters, like which is like 2.8 feet, right? It's very low, right? So like imagine like you're lifting like 25, like United States maybe like that's 50 pounds, right? 50 pound bag, right? You have to lift it, high. And then today we are making so like chili noodles, right? Our famous like chili noodles, and it's a lot of chili noodles, and then oh yeah, I wish you guys were here to like yeah, the smell this chill like it's very intense. So we do like we want to do like what we do is like we first like mix it for 1 minute just with the solid ingredients, just to make sure that like it's mixing well, like all like because these two different ingredients, right? So like we want to make sure that like they are mixed well, right? And I look at this mixer blades, like it's running fast, right? It's very running fast, like So the rotation speed is like actually 75 rotations per minute. So it's fast and they like it's rotating like, and then the the design inside of this mixer, right, is so the body of the mixer is like is designed in a way that like so it optimizes the like hydration, right? So the purpose of the mixing process is like hydrate the dough well. So what like in an extreme sense, right? Like we want to like distribute equal amount of water to like each particle of flour. That's like what we want to do, right? Um, so that's what this the design of the mixer um, does, right? So like the body of the mixer like in the shaped in a way that like it allows the flowers like flowers like agitated like it's like brought up from the bottom, right? And then it gets agitated in a way that like it allows for optimal hydration. And so we're gonna add water, right? Liquid water. That's water and like currency and salt, right? And we're gonna set the timer to 4 minutes first, right? And also like notice these small holes, right, on the lid. So by positioning like these small holes like in the lid, right, and then the water is like dripping through these holes, like small holes, right, a little by little to the flour, so that like it allows for optimal hydration. So by positioning like these small holes, like in many of them, right? So by having like more holes, right, and then dripping holes, and you know we can allow the dough to be like hydrated, like kind of equal, like a little by little, right? So that allows us to like get that kind of better hydrated, like have like better hydrated dough, right? So the flour is like getting like out the water like liquid like little by little, and at the same time like it's rotating like like it's getting agitated like with the mixing blades. Also like notice like the side walls of the mixer, right? A lot of times like when we're mixing the dough and then like the dough gets like kind of stuck on the sides, right? But like look at the like sort of the part like that the part like that's kind of bumps, right? Bump like we have, right? I mean that kind of like gets all like the dough like that are kind of getting stuck like kind of, but like it kind of scrapes off, right? So that's another like sort of like edge to edge like design, and then but like having like these bumps right on the side allows the dough like from like from getting stuck, right? And then having like this clear lid like allows you to see like how it's gonna how the dough is like coming, right? So what's happening inside dough is that like like mixing is like gradual like agitation, like so these like as you saw, right, like the flour is like really small particles, right? But like as we like mix it like with the like liquid, liquid is like added like a little by little, and then like getting added like the flour is getting agitated, that these like small particles like come together, right, and then like form into like kind of bigger chunks, right? So that's how sort of like the dough gets bigger, and then getting formed into like bigger chunks. So that's what we want, right? Like gradually, like the dough is like getting bigger and bigger, right? And so having like this the speed, right? Speed of rotational speed is like also it's like optimal, like 75 rotation minute. So that's the so like speed like like through like long as like research and development, like we reached this optimal speed of like 75 production per minute. Yeah, so it's almost done the 4 minutes, right? Like after 4 minutes, we are going to just open it, right? And then just gonna make sure that like all the flowers like in the walls, stuck on the walls, and then we're gonna clean them, right? And then mix them up like with the rest of the dough. So it's like wide open, right? This like mixing body, like it's wide open. Like there's no sort of there's nothing like that's blocking the view, right? Or you know, yeah. So it's fume of like yeah, chili powder is like kind of very intense actually. Um, so we decided to do like this chili powder because like our new stuff, right? Like from like United States, like she loves like spicy food, right? So decided to do chili powder noodles today, right? And it's kind of great what like see the color, right? Like it's not like red, like it's like more like orange, right? Like it's even though like chili was like red, right? Um, yeah, so like mixing it like so that chili amount of chili powder like we added like what was like 4%, just 4%, right? 4% to the total solid ingredient. So like was 10, um, right? So like was 400 grams, right? Of 400 grams of chili powder. That's a lot of chili powder. Um, so total mixing time is 6 minutes. I mean 10 minutes, right? So the remaining mixing time like just 6 minutes, right? So and then we added the rest of the water, right? And so it's gonna mix it like to the for like another 6 minutes, and then the mixing is done, right? Yeah, so like in conventional probably mixer, like this size, then like the height, right? Height is really really high. Like so, where you have to like like interpoint like ingredients, right? Like so you have to like put flour, right? And then you have to put flour, and like you have to like water, and then you have to like sort of, like lift the flour bag like all the way, and then like you know put it in there, and so it's and imagine like you have to do it like 10 like 12 times a day, right? So that's yeah, so that's a lot of work. Like that's a like really hard work, right? So like you may hurt your back and or it's yeah. So we didn't want so like because noodle making like is a everyday work. So we wanted to like minimize the hard work as much as possible so that like you can continue to make and manufacture like high quality noodles every day, right? Yeah. And then consistency, so like so by having like this design, like mixing body and like mixing lid, um it's by default like you're making like better dough, right? Better dough than like you can make like in a conventional mixer. So definitely for yeah, the kind of touch noodles like ramen and like like also like variety of like ramen noodles like tsukemen or like like Hakata style tonkotsu noodles as well, and of course like the types of noodles like as like the udon too, like certain types of pasta, and then of course like gyoza skin, right? I mean dumpling skins, um, yeah, and then like of course like wonton skins and the other types like um, wheat flour based like products. So these are like this is a really great mixer that we've developed, and so after you're done right mixing, right, and then then you have to like put it into the noodle machine, right? Noodle machine, and then so but like it's another like heavy lifting that you might have to do, right? Because if you have like one huge container, right, and then like you have to like okay lift it like the whole thing up, right, and then the maximum maximum like probably weight that you may have to lift would be like like 33 kilo or something, 33 kilograms or something, right? So like that's like walking the gym, right? Walking the gym. Like, so that's they imagine like you have to do that like same work 10 times like 12 times a day. That's yeah, you're gonna hurt your back like in like 1 week, right? I mean if you're not used to it. So yeah, so we divided the container right into four small containers, right? So that like you can just lift one up, like, and then like that may weigh like okay 8 or like 7 kilo or something, right? So that so like you just like lifting like in a smaller batch at a time, like so that itself like alone would be like like reduce like so much of your physical work, right? So that's another feature that this machine has. So the dough is like kind of coming together and like getting bigger and bigger, right, over time. And then so now it's like um, 8 minutes passed, and then you get this dough like so I forgot to mention, but like this is hydration ratio of like 36%, 36%, right? So like it's considered like kind of medium hydration ratio, but like kind of on the wetter wetter like wetter side, right? So 36% hydration ratio noodles would be like used for like such like ramen dishes like like miso ramen, like you can make them like thicker, right? You can make it thicker, like you can make them like then for tsukemen as well, and you can also like use them for like traditional like shoyu ramen or like shio ramen as well. Like it's yeah, it's very like it's gonna be like very chewy and like, but not that hard. Like no, because like higher the hydration, like the softer the noodle texture. So it's gonna be like kind of middle, but like kind of just a little bit like in the softer side. But basically this is going to be like really good noodle. But the cutter we're gonna cut with this noodle, like this one, right, would be like number 20. So number 20 cutter, like 1.5 millimeter, right? So that's gonna be like so like standard size for ramen. Okay, so once we're done, right, and how we going to retrieve like take the dough out would be like from the bottom, right? Because it's easier, right? So you see like if you like using a conventional mixer, right? Like you have like more like lumpy doughs, right? Lumpy doughs means that like so some of the doughs like are wetter, right? Some part of the dough like wetter than the other part of the dough, right? So they're opening it and then like so that dough like mixer is rotating and like helping to take the dough out, right? But like you have to use both your hands, right, to do it so that like it's not dangerous. Like so while you're pushing it like with your both hands, right, like the mixing blade like rotate, right? So um, and then you're allowed to like operate this machine like alone, right? So it's for the that's a safety feature this machine has. And again, like the the smell of fumable tea powder is like really intense, right? So it was like 10 kilograms like solid ingredients, and then that's 36% hydration. So that's 13.6 kilo of dough. And yeah, so it's not that much for this type of mixer. So, so we'll just take like one box, right, and then like make make it into noodles. Okay, so here we have Rичмен Gold 2 machine, Rичmen Gold 2, and so especially we design it like so that like well, you don't have to, you can like you can have like all the controls, right, in this panel, and we minimize the kind of manual operation that you have to do, right? And so like anyone can use this machine, operate this machine to make great crafty noodles. And so we place that dough right on this. It's a conveyor belt, right? Conveyor belt like that moves, right? Moves forward, and then so you don't have to like feed the dough like manual like by hand, right? But like this dough like this system conveyor belt like does it for you, and then it it actually measure. I mean the yeah, it actually measures like the amount of dough like that's going into the dough like roller, right? To dough sheet, right? And then so we have like what we're making dough sheet, and then like there's a sensor that's like okay. So we're setting the roller gap, right? Roller gap on the touch panel. So it's written in English, but like this is Japanese version, so like it's in Japanese, but like so it's set 1.5 millimeter, right? And then like that's the initial roller gap, right? And then so this is the roller gap, and then like this is the yeah, and then it says like so 70%, right? 70%, 70%. Like this is the so like the rule of thumb. Like when we are like thinning the dough, like sheeting the dough, like we reduce the roller thickness, right? Like thickness by like 30% every time like we do it. Like then so it's feeding me, right? And then like it's see the like red light, right? It's measuring like how much dough is like going in, right? So that we you don't, like because if you're feeding the dough like too much dough at a time, then like it's not good, right? It's not good for and then it's gonna create like the phenomenon called like bridging, right? So it's not good, right? And then so it's measuring like how much dough is going in, and then like so it's moving, driving the speed of the conveyor belt, right? So that it's not gonna. Oh yeah, and then so she like put her hand in there, right? And then like so there's a sensor here, like it's cotton, it's called like cotton sensor. Like anything that like goes through, right? Like there's a beam, like this beam of sense, like that's going like going here, right? So anything like that's kind of like coming through this the sensor, right? And then like it just beeps and like stops, right? So it's a safety, like it's one of the most like advanced like safety features that's probably installed in the commercial noodle making machine. And so it winds the dough like automatically, and you don't have to really do anything, right? So you just have to like, so first when dough comes out, like you just have like, well, the first edge of dough, like you just wind it on the rolling pin, and then the like the machine will do the rest, right? So you know, and if you just do the settings, right, and then like you don't have to do it, like so you can just let other people do it, other workers like who have no experience like making noodles do it. Yeah, so that's how easy noodle making on this machine is. And it's very quiet. I mean, it's very yeah, quiet, and like doesn't make much noise. So like in the conventional noodle making machine, right? Like there are a, a lot of like manual operations and like you know a lot of heavy lifting like you had to do. But like in this machine, we minimize it by design. And for example, like this is like dough weighs like probably 5 kilo, right? And then you have to like lift it up, right? To bring it to bring it over here, right? But with this one, like you can just like like lift it a little bit, but like and then like you can slide it over, right? So less less energy like you needed to do it. And so the next thing like we are doing is that like this is a process like called like combining process. And so I think it's like this dough is like still pretty rough, right? And then there are wears and tears like and then but we want to still fragile, so like but we want to like make it like really firm, right? So how we do that is like we separate it into two sheets and then like combine them into one sheet, right? Like through rollers. Okay, and so let's yeah, and then like so we separate the dough into like roughly half, right? And combine them, put them through the roller and so the control, but you have to set the roller gap, right? Like, but you don't have to set it like sort of like manually, but like you just have to um, push this button, right? It says like combining the 70%, like so you just push the button and then like see the roller gap like automatically adjusts it myself, right? So that's automatic. Um, so it's combining. Yeah, it's coming out, right? And then so what you need to do is just wind it, right? Just edge of it, and then like just does the rest. No. So the sheeting, like rolling, the speed of like sheeting, like just kind of changes. Like, but that's a machine that's doing it. Like, kind of like speeding up, like kind of slowing down, like depending on the process you're doing. So in the conventional machine, like you may have to, I mean, you may have to like, yeah, do it manual, like, just because there's a speed controller, like in the conventional machine, then you may have to like, oh, just, just slow it down a little bit and speed it up a little bit. But, this machine like just does it. So the through combining process, like the dough coming out is like kind of cleaner, right, and then smoother. So it's and then yeah, like if you buy them, like if you buy these noodles, right, like if you make the noodles like without combining process, like if you make noodles with combining process, like the difference, right, difference in like noodle texture will be like significant. So combining process is like very important to make good noodles. All right. Then yeah. So it's going in and so combining process, like we usually do it like twice, right? Do it twice, one to two times. Um, Depends on the kind of like noodle texture you're aiming to have like in the noodles. But we found that like like doing the combining process like more than twice, right? More than two times, like it doesn't really give us the um, like firmer, like harder like texture. Yeah. So yeah. So we've done it like three times, like four times, but like didn't really change that texture by that much. So yeah. So it's like doing like twice, be like okay, like it's like sufficient. So again, like separating it into two, right, two sheets, and then like yeah, compounding them through roller, right, in like into one sheet. Right. All right, and again, like just pushing this one button, right? Um, yeah, pushing this one button, like adjust the molar gap to the appropriate proper molar gap. So that's 3.0 millimeter now. So yeah, the door is coming out, and like again, just have to like wind it onto the rolling pin, and then like the machine does the rest by itself. Like oh, oh, oh yeah, orange dough, and we've tried like these chili powder, I mean chili noodles many times, and then we found that like it's chili powder, right? The moisture level of chili powder is very low. Like it's very dry, right? Like in compared to like flour. So like if you're adding a lot of chili powder, then the dough gets like really dry, and then if you have like too much of them, like it's almost like impossible to like make into dough. So we found that like probably maximum maybe like 5% to the total weight of the like so the ingredients be like ideal. You may try like 6%, 6%, 7%, but like 5% like be enough. Like it's spicy enough, and then yeah, and then the color will be like yeah, like kind of deep orange, right? So after this combining process, like all you have to do is just thin it, right? Thin it to the final thickness, and from this point on, like we are see like doing the dusting, because like up to that like combining process, like we need the like dough to stick together, but like from this point, like we want that dough from sticking, right? To be just thinning. And so place this dust on the back, right? And then just kind of like, yeah, run the conveyor belt. And then, so the conveyor belt is covered with the dusting powder. Then, that gets, so that the dough sheet, like, that's being thinned, right? Gets dusted. So, now like it was 3 millimeter, right? And then so like she pushed the button that said like 70%, and then like now it's like 2.1 millimeter. And yeah, you might have noticed that like this machine is also like designed like really low, right? So the point of entry, like where you have to like lift the ingredients to, or like dough to, right? Like really low, like compared to like other conventional noodle making machines. So it reduces like amount of heavy lifting that you have to do every day, and so it's very low, right? So imagine like you have to like lift it like around here, right? Lift the like heavy like dough like you know up to this point, and like every time, right? Every time you do it, that'll be like really tiring, right? And so now it's kind of going faster, and like after combining process, like we can go just fast and um, yeah, thin the dough. So we're gonna thin it again, right? So that was 2 millimeter, 2.1, but like so next, so we're gonna reduce the thickness by 30%, like it's like 1.4 millimeter. So um, in on the other model, like we have like this handle, right, that you can like manually like rotate to like adjust the roller gap. Like in this machine, the machine adjusts the roller gap by itself, like automatically by pushing button, right? So it's getting the dough is like getting thinned at 1.4 millimeter. Yeah, the beauty of this thing is that like you don't have to do anything. I mean, like while like the machine's working, right? So, um, yeah, there may be like some other work like you may want to assign like this worker to do, right? Like while this machine's working. So that way, the worker doesn't have to be engaged, right? So like while this process is going on, so it's yeah, it's very efficient. All right, so 1.4 millimeter, and we're not sure what the actual thickness is going to be like. So yeah, like we thin it like a 1.4 millimeter, right? But like the dough thickness, like actual thickness, is like always bigger, right? It's like 1.7, yeah, I'm so like so it just expanded by like zero point 0.3, right? So about 0.3. So like she set the roller gap to 1.2 because we expect like we want the final thickness to be right the 1.5, right? 1.5. So if the dough is like thin at like 1.2, because the difference is like zero point 0.3, right? So that's how much it expanded. So we should be able to expect the like noodles to come out at 1.5, right? So this is the kind of cutter we use, right? Slit that cutter, and you're gonna insert it into the machine, right? It's 1.5 millimeter width. So thickness we're like controlling with that like roller gap, right? But the width is just like with this. I mean the fixed on this cutter you use, right? And So we're gonna set that duster there, and then so look at the position like she's like she has, right, like when catching noodles, right. So this is a really good height. So imagine like having like this piece machine in your restaurant, like where your customers can see, right, and then like um, it's a good position, like it's a really good height where like customers can see like really well, like. But if you have, right, at the point of like the noodles like that are coming out are like really low and are like hard to see, right? Then it's not good, right? But like with this machine, you see like noodles coming out, and you know it's very clear. Oh yeah, noodles coming out, right? And so that's something, yeah, you want to show, right? You want to show the customers, and so that's another, yeah, so like benefit. We sort of like embed like in this machine to show, right, to show like how you make noodles to your customers, so that like um, customers may enjoy watching it, right. You're making like variety of noodles, right, in this machine, and like so that's kind of like like one of the like part of the concept like we kind of thought about, like when we're talking about micro noodle factory concept, right? So having like small factory inside the restaurant or like in business, right? Then you show, right? You show like how variety of noodles like kind of in turn out like of this like noodle machine, and then while waiting for their bowl of ramen or something, they can just watch, right? Um, your noodles are coming out of this machine and like being made, right? And so the portion size, right, like is uh, determined by the length of the noodle. So you can change it, like make it shorter, like longer, and then that's your portion size, and it's very easy to like just touch the knob, right? And you can, of course, like use different cutter size, the different shape, and then you can make them curly. Also, like I call it as instant noodle, right? So, and then you can control the speed of cutting, right? So this is it's very easy, like the thing about it is like you don't have to have like skilled labor. Like this part, like is like retrieving noodles and like placing in the container, like at this speed. Yeah, you may have to, yeah, you may have to like get used to it. Like you may like workers may have to like get used to it, but basically you don't have to have like skills, or like you just have to just practice, right, a couple times to be able like just get it, and then produce noodles as high quality as some, yeah, noodle making artisans can make, right? So it's a very good this machine that allows anyone to be able like, yeah, create a micro noodle factory, you know noodle production that can like manufactures beautiful noodles like high quality, without any skilled labor. So, right, so what, yeah, it's like you got about 20, like 30, like around like 28, like 30 servings of like this chili powder noodles, and then yeah, we're gonna try them later. But like yeah, I wish you guys were here to like try them. But yeah, it's very it's intense like smell like chili powder. Yeah, they're really spicy. But like so yeah, it's very easy, and yeah, so like with these machines, right? Like that are coming out in the United States very soon, right? Like so we are in the process of like getting them certified for like NSF, like UL. certification. Like there are like safety standards that are required in United States, and then we are also plus of like getting them certified for a CE mark. That's like a requirement for like EU countries. So they're coming soon, like for EU countries, like EU markets as well. So but like for the rest of the country, like the rest of the world, like these are already available for you to start creating your own like micro noodle factory, and like creating your own like small factory inside your restaurant, or yeah. And so in 2023, right? And it's coming, and it's very soon. So and then yeah, with the like labor market, like well, it's going up, and I mean it's getting harder and harder for you guys to like be able to find highly skilled labor nowadays, right? So it's a like why don't we cover that like highly skilled labor part, like with this piece of machine that allow anyone to be able to like make great noodles, and crafty yeah authentic noodles, like using local ingredients, and deliver them to your local market, to your customers, right? So yeah, so this is a silky mixer, 25 kilo, and Rичмен Gold 2 machine that are coming soon to United States, and then soon to EU countries. So stay tuned. Like, so for those of you like who are interested, please yeah contact us for quote, or like lead time, like whatever pricing.